idea the amount of ignorant mess we're about to get into right now.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
And Tiara.
Hello.
All right, guys, we're back. It's three of us again. Terrence will be back on the next episode. But this is preview to episode 201, the 40-year-old version. This is on Netflix. You can check this out. This is written and directed by Rada Blank. The logline here is a down-on-her-luck playwright thinks the only way she can salvage her voice as an artist is to become a rapper at age 40. So again, you can watch this on Netflix. I don't think any of us have seen this. This came out last year. So check that out. It looks very good. It's produced by a number of, I think, pretty talented people, one of which is Lena Waithe. So obviously a name that mostly everybody knows. I promise you this is not written by Lena Waithe. All right, so the random topic this week is obviously about something that is pretty fucking serious, which is what the fuck you people are wearing in airports? Because I really don't think Monique.
Leave us alone.
No, in all seriousness, it is not about Monique and bonnets, because that whole thing was ridiculous.
Stupid.
Very stupid. But also everybody dresses like a bum nowadays. That's kind of the thing.
Especially like who dresses up to go to the airport? It's the airport.
You gotta wear a 3-piece suit and dress like Don Draper.
With people who are disgusting and sitting on those disgusting seats.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear
and touching
suits.
and touching like those disgusting handles. It's the airport. I'm not trying to have my hair exposed to that, especially if it's like freshly done. Stupid.
Just saying. Y'all seem mighty defensive because y'all auntie told y'all something.
Don't tap me on the shoulder. Don't touch me.
Yeah, but it was Netflix that fucked her career up. Okay, sure it was. No, but the actual story this week is all about the revelation that the NFL believes in eugenics. So this story is really super interesting. So because of a lawsuit, the National Football League was basically exposed to, or they were exposed. They had to be exposed as far as what they called racial norming, where they were being sued because black players were, or a bunch of players, not just black, but were, diagnosed with CTE after playing football for a number of years, basically some level of brain damage. But they had been paying out black players less money than white players. And it turns out because they had this racial norming thing on the book since the 90s, not the 50s, where they basically said black players start at a cognitively lower position than white players coming into the NFL. So thus, I guess the damage isn't so bad is their logic. So basically black players are inherently, less smart than white players.
In terms of the payout, when they have to do certain cognitive tests to see if you have dementia, let's say, right?
Right.
In terms of now, when you take these tests, they're graded on a curve, and because black athletes, quote unquote, are dumber than white athletes, apparently, they get the quote unquote benefit of the curve. But when it comes to this payout, their excuse is, well, okay, this guy has dementia, but he only has dementia because of the curve.
Right.
If we didn't institute the curve, then he would just be, this is just his normal level of stupidity.
Right.
But because you instituted the curve, that makes it seem like, oh, well, he was smarter than he was, and now he's dumb. When in actuality, he's just dumb. Which is bullshit.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Look, the NFL has always been like this. There's a reason why you don't see a lot of black quarterbacks. And that's because, the NFL, every entity, every instance of it on a higher level thinks that the black athlete can't think quickly on their feet. Like being a quarterback is super dangerous. There's a lot of split second decisions that you have to make within a span of 4 to 5 seconds,
right,
before you're in any kind of danger. And people think that black athletes aren't smart enough to make those decisions. Lamar Jackson, the quarterback for the Baltimore Ravens, he's always wanted to play quarterback. And throughout his football career, in collegiate and professional, people have been trying to guide him into being a running back.
Yeah,
because he's a really fast runner. Just like, no, I'm a quarterback, and if you draft me, I want to be drafted as a quarterback. And he's denied, going to certain places, or said he didn't want to go to certain places or work with certain people who wanted to treat him like a running back or a wide receiver.
Right.
And all of that is because people think that black people aren't smart enough to make those split second decisions.
Right. And didn't that guy get all the way to didn't they make it to the Super Bowl like his first year or whatever? Or in the playoffs or some shit like that. Like high in the playoffs. I don't watch football, so
they've made it to the playoffs every year that he's been quarterback.
Right.
Which is no easy feat.
Of course not.
But
and ever since, because this is still a hot topic on Ravens Twitter, and ever since he's been making this push that he is not a running back, he is indeed a quarterback. The criticism that he receives as a quarterback is pretty unequal when compared to other people in the same position, and it makes you wonder, why is he getting criticized as much when you don't talk about other athletes like this? And I think we all know why.
And it's bullshit, right? Because they have the easy out, right? Because he's not a pocket passer. He doesn't stand there and look around he's constantly moving, which is why his first full season, people didn't know what to do. That's why they went 14-2, because people didn't know how to handle it. But they'll always fall back on someone like Russell Wilson, black quarterback, but he's a mobile quarterback, but he's not mobile like Lamar, and he can throw in the pocket, which traditionally that's what a quarterback is supposed to do. He's supposed to just kind of hang back in the pocket, be able to make a decision on the fly, or call an audible, so to speak, if need be. But they'll always fall back on stuff like that, and they won't give him his props. And look, maybe I'm a Ravens fan somewhat, right? As much as I'm an Orioles fan, I don't give a shit. But so maybe that's my bias talking, but it's always been like that. It's always been like that, and it's not just the NFL. It's throughout. It's damn near every aspect of America, right? Look at medicine. There's a stat that black women die in childbirth larger than at a greater proportion than white women, and that's because when a black woman says she's in pain, they don't believe her.
Right.
Because that's because, black women have had to endure a lot, right? So they're tougher, right? Or that's what society will tell you, right? Like that we see it in the movies that we review, right? Like the strong black woman. Oh, no, it's just a little bit of pain. You can handle it.
It's dehumanizing, and it's
right. It is dehumanizing
for both men and women.
You treat cattle like that. You treat cattle, you treat animals and stuff like that, which you shouldn't. Like, I'm not an animal guy, but they're living creatures. Like, you shouldn't. But
by the way, it's black women die 3 times the rate of white women in childbirth.
Yeah, man. and it's just because, you know, people think that because black people have had to endure, they think that, oh, well, I mean, it's nothing you can't handle, right? We do it to ourselves, right? We got to work twice as hard to get half as much. That's an endurance thing. We have to endure a lot of bullshit from cops. And so we are the ones who have to de-escalate situations from the professional de-escalators, right? Like,
I'm pretty sure all of us have dealt with that even in the workplace at one point when you see people give you all the extra work, you get rewarded with more work, but for colleagues, especially white colleagues, they may be treated with kid gloves compared to you.
Right. I mean, look, so I think the NFL conversation is an interesting one because, like, yeah, there's like a weird eugenics thing, right, which is not. I wish I could say it's surprising. It's not. But there's also another aspect, which is I think it is equally possible and equally likely that the NFL did this for monetary reasons and for racist reasons, right? That they said
they don't want to pay out.
Right. Like,
they're trying to find an excuse not to pay.
Right. I don't know. They're not as smart. Let's not pay them as much. Right. So it's hard to tell if it's just like hardcore bigotry or if it's hardcore capitalism using bigotry as a method to save money. Right. I think it's both of those things. Right. But I think that's part of like the issues with capitalism is racism is tied very tightly right around it. So it's in this country, at least. So like, I find it fascinating that you're willing, like, for the amount of players in the NFL, and I don't know what the percentage is. If I had to guess, 60+% of the players in the NFL are black, right? Maybe more than that. And the audience of NFL, like NFL fans is, probably, I don't know. I mean, I have to imagine black people make up a large percentage of people who watch football as well.
What did you say the percentage was? What did you say that you thought the percentage was?
Like 60+%.
58.9.
All right, there you go. Because I'm just thinking like, you got a lot of like big white linebackers. Like they're all,
absolutely. You got some Samoans in there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Samoans, they big as shit, boy.
They got to play center. There's a guy. There's a big dude. There's a big Samoan dude.
One of the Rock's cousins.
Of course,
he's playing for the Ravens.
Of course he is.
I don't know if that's actually true, but I'm assuming it's because he was also, I think, Samoan.
They related. It's the Rock and his whole family, and then Samoa Joe, who is not related to them. That's it. He's the only Samoan not related to the Rock. But like I feel like. I feel like, because of those percentages of fans and stuff like that, I have to wonder, is there anything the NFL can do that would lose a significant amount of black viewership?
No.
And
I think it's too.
I think that's fucked up. I think that, like, even after Colin Kaepernick, where we all agree, like, I don't hear, like, a lot of black people being like, nah, they did Colin Kaepernick right. Like, fuck him. Like, you don't hear that I've never heard that from a black person. Like, unless it's like some crazy black conservative online. I've never heard that from a normal black person in my life. Like, localized. I've never heard that.
I mean,
for that, people still are like, yeah, Sunday, like, they gotta fucking watch. Like, they're literally telling you black people are mentally inferior to white people. What else do you have to do? Like, do like players have to get like do like owners have to get on TV and be like, you're all a bunch of nigger slaves who work for me before black people go, maybe I won't watch Monday Night Football. I don't understand what you have to do to lose it.
It's not, I mean, okay, I think I watch probably the most football out of the three of us because I still watch the Ravens not as consistently as I used to, but every now and then whenever I can catch a game on the West Coast. The way that some of my friends who watch the NFL see it as, is that they separate the actual enjoyment of the sport from the politics of what happens around.
Yeah, you separate the art from the artist. Like,
and
I get it.
Yeah, and same thing with the players, right? Because I remember like when the whole Colin Kaepernick thing was happening, people were like, "Well, the players should protest. The players should protest." And it's
that was me. I said that.
Okay, yeah, but that was obviously never going to happen because you have athletes who have worked there pretty much their entire lives to get to a point where they play in the NFL, not the CFL, not some other,
I get that.
not the XFL, but this opportunity where
if they had all stood up together, they couldn't get all fired. They wouldn't have. That's the problem. That was the problem, is they didn't stand together. If they stood together, what, are you going to fire every player on your team? No, you're not. You'll fire all the white people? Ain't nobody watching the NFL with a bunch of white boys. No, they're not.
Yeah, but guess what?
No,
guess what?
but
you can fire enough to scare these people.
Yeah, you can.
All right,
Next man up.
That's fair.
Like this is the insidiousness of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because their
For a
player
lot of
association
people-
isn't as strong as like the NBA.
For
That's
a
what
lot of
NBA
people,
does.
Right.
for a lot of people, this is their way out. This
Yeah,
is their way
that's
to
fair.
create generational wealth.
Yep.
This is their way to just look out for their family, and this is just the way for them to live,
Lavish.
like a normal fucking human being, right?
Right. No, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. I did not consider.
But yeah, I think people were scared, man. They don't have power like the NBA does.
No, the NBA don't fucking play. Nigga, there's like 5 of us on the field, like on the court. Bye.
Right, and you have to remember on NFL teams, it's a 52, 53 man roster.
53-man roster, yeah.
So like it's always players get hurt and replaced all the time. Even
That's true.
even dudes who have promising talent. It just takes one injury or whatever to knock you out of the game, and the next person will be up. So having that kind of unity
It's almost impossible.
Yeah, so like I don't think this is going to change anything at all. Like, I mean, we were talking about this offline, but I'm actually surprised this wasn't on my timeline because I follow a lot of sports writers and pundits who talk about the NFL, and I swear I have not seen. I probably saw like a little bit of it, but it wasn't dominating my timeline like previous NFL scandals have. And I don't know if this is because this is just a thing. This is a story where people read it and were probably like, of course the NFL thought this. Next story.
I don't know. I guess for me, and I hate to say this term, and I'm just going to say it as a joke, I guess I'm built different. I hate when people say that. It's so ridiculous. It's such an obnoxious thing to say. But like
You're different from me.
You're different. You're different from me. I feel as though. But I look at that story and I can't help but think like, why would I give these people my money, my time to watch this? And then I see like Meek Mill and Jay-Z give Robert Kraft a Bentley, his dream Bentley. Robert Kraft is worth like $9.6 billion.
Why?
I looked it up.
Why would he do that?
Like,
for what?
you don't get to have you don't get to have dreams of buying anything if you're a billionaire. Just buy it. Just buy it. Like, I have a dream. You're a billionaire. Nothing costs more than $1 billion. Nothing. Do they even make houses that are $1 billion? No. Shut up. It's a car. Get 5 of them. Who gives a shit?
I saw that video and I saw like how surprised he was. He was like, "Oh my God." I'm like, you literally could have bought that for yourself.
Right. Like, I dreamed of not paying for this. That's what his dream was. I dreamed of somebody giving me this, $250,000 car or whatever.
It's a drop in the bucket.
It's nothing. And it's also nothing for Jay-Z and Meek Mill, I'm sure. Maybe more for Meek Mill, but like nothing for Jay-Z.
I feel like Meek Mill, he was probably definitely the one to call Jay-Z, be like, hey man, you want to go half, maybe 6?
Yeah, you want to go 2/3, 1/3?
Yeah, you got me though. I mean, I did championship. I mean, that shit was good, but like, relax. Nigga, they ain't pay that much. So I ain't married to Beyonce. So like, in seeing that, like, look, I don't know what obviously they're very friendly with Robert Kraft. I'm not mad at them for buying the cars. It's weird to me. Like, I saw people legitimately mad. I'm like, these are all billionaires. Who gives a fuck? Like, you let your buddy borrow $5. Who gives a shit? That's what it is for them. But like, seeing that story of the NFL thinking that black men are mentally inferior to white men, and knowing that Robert Kraft is very much a part of that machine. And very much a part of how his former players get paid out by the league and shit. Like, I'm sure he sits down at the table and negotiates those kind of things. To know that, and then to be like, hey, I bought your old ass a Bentley. I'd be like, cool, I bought you a Bentley. I hope you die in it. Like that would be my attitude. Why am I giving you anything? Like, so to me, how much can you watch black men, in this case, be exploited by this sport? Which is, I mean, football, I hate to say it, and I'm certainly not the first person to say it, but it feels a lot like modern day slavery, right? Like it kind of does, right? Especially
you mean like every spring how you have young viral college men run and jump and show you their athletic skills. So
it's called the combine. Like,
so
which one's the fastest slave? like jump higher. Yeah, like having white men rubbing their rich hands together, betting on the biggest one. Like, no, and again, it's sports, and like that's sort of inherent to sports and everything else. I get that.
Yeah.
But there is something about the way the NFL is set up that I just, as a black person, and I'm not judging anybody for watching sports. I mean, like, you watch whatever you want to watch. I don't care. But I have to wonder, how long can you separate the organization from the way that it treats its players, specifically black people? Like, this isn't even, hey, we're lowballing all players as like intellectual boobs, so we don't have to pay. We're specifically saying that about the majority of players who happen to be all of the same racial makeup. Like, that is very fucking strange to me, that you can just sit down every week and be like, that's fine. I
think it comes that it's a money thing. I mean,
I'm saying it's from a fucking fan.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think it just goes back to what Mike and I were just saying earlier. It is just enjoying the sport for what it is,
but
rooting for your favorite player, especially if it's a player that you've been watching for years, since college, and
right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not denigrating anybody for enjoying it. I often just try to ask myself questions like that, like things that I watch, because I watch stuff and I'm like there are movies directors I don't support, or actors I don't support because of actions or something like that, right? Like, I'm just wondering, do people actually think about it? I understand the argument that people separate the art from the artist type of thing. But in this case, I don't think people think about it at all. I think people go, oh, that's fucked up. I think people do think about it. I mean, so there's another aspect to it that is discussed enough, which is black representation for coaches and owners. Sure.
So a big part of this is that, with the exception of 2, all of the owners are white billionaires, and the minority owners there are like Pakistani and I think Asian American.
Are there any majority owners who are black?
No.
I
mean, like even then, like, even when it comes to black head coaches,
that's few and far between.
Outside of the top one that comes to my head is Mike Tomlin, but even this past year, there was riffraff about how I think the guy in Tampa that just won the Super Bowl, how he should have been nominated for a head coaching job and didn't get it. And he was the one who was partially responsible for the Bucks winning that championship. I mean, I feel like first, I don't think there's ever going to be anything that NFL can do to drop its viewership or fandom or anything like that. I think the thing that fans are starting to do now is maybe consider not going to any games, which is
not now.
Yeah, no, that shit's a wrap.
Not after coming off of this year. Shit.
Oh, those stadiums gonna be good and packed. Good.
Yeah, people can't wait to get back in there, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it curious, and I don't. I don't know what the right answer is, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not condemning anybody who watches it. But I wonder. Do people? And the reason why I say I don't think people think about it much is probably what I should say instead of not thinking about it at all. Is people can get worked up about the unfairness in the treatment of black people in almost every other avenue, and they will say, I'm not going to do that thing. I'm not going to use that service. I'm not going to go to that restaurant. I'm not going to do X, Y, Z. But not football.
I mean, look, you still got people who call the Washington football team by their former name. Like,
well, that's because they don't got it.
Proudly. You know what I mean? Like,
that feels like a white people thing. Like, white people really.
Yeah, I haven't seen any black folks do that. I don't know.
I met one guy who argued.
I'm related to a couple of them.
Oh,
who grew up as fans of that team, and they're older, right? So I guess
they don't care.
Right.
They're like, all right, whatever.
They don't care. But it just, I look, I think that people don't think about it, or they they think about it's like when you go to when you're doing bad all week and then you go to church and you know everything is forgiven, right? Like that's
I have no reference to what you're speaking of.
That's what I think happens to people. Like if someone brings it up, then they might think about it for a minute, but then like I don't know.
See, but that's my thought too. I don't think people really think about it.
No, there's something about sport that while sport I think is important, I think that there are a lot of good things that come from it.
Sure.
But like most things, the deeper you get into it, like the more layers you peel from that onion, the more you're likely to start crying.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't have done that.
Right. Like it is what it is, man.
Yeah, It's just curious. Like sports is an interesting thing because it's a kind of an impenetrable thing for most people. Like this is something they played as a kid or something they've loved since a kid, and they just won't budge off of it. So I guess maybe what you need like the Negro League, like a new Negro League football, like like a new Negro football league. So then all black people could go watch that. And then the NFL dies, but that's never going to happen.
So separate but equal is
yes. That's what I'm advocating here on the show. No, but I think, I think what could be a solution is I think like rich black people buy a football team. Fuck it. Oprah, Jay-Z, all Beyonce, just buy a football team. Fuck them.
That's a very. First of all, you got to buy it from somebody.
I know. No, I know. You got to wait for Robert Kraft's old ass to die or something. But you got to buy it. That's the only way you can get in. Because if you're not at the head of the table, and that's a heavy thing to do, obviously. But if you can't get at the seat, if you can't get a seat at the table for that, you can't change anything. You can't change anything as a player. Clearly, we talked about that.
I mean, you're gonna need more than one black person to change that table. I mean, because even if you have like a black person there, they're still probably just going to conform to whatever the rest of the group wants to do. I'm looking to see because I feel like I read a story of maybe, and I probably have this wrong, of like Diddy or somebody trying to do that, trying to like buy part of a NFL team or something like that, or maybe it was Jay-Z or someone.
Yeah, let it be Jay-Z. Diddy got a lot of bullshit ideas that never work out.
No. I mean, and even then, right? Like
he's gonna turn into the Washington Rocks.
Jay-Z was partial owner of the Nets.
Yeah,
I think he's selling his shares to Jason Kidd or something like that. But he was partial owner of the Nets. You know what that percentage was? It was literally a fraction of 1%.
Wow.
Ooh.
Fraction of 1%.
What was it?
It's a fraction of 1% of how much Jay-Z.
And he got in before the team started.
So it's
God damn.
that's a real. You got to have a tremendous amount
billions
of money, dude.
of dollars. I mean, Robert Kraft is worth like almost $7 billion.
You know who is a major investor in the XFL?
Oh no.
Yeah, The Rock.
Yeah, The
He's
Rock.
bringing it back. He's bringing it back. He's bringing the XFL.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Is that what Vince McMahon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince McMahon, this was his second shot at trying to create a football. Look, let me tell you something. All Vince McMahon wanted to do was own two things.
Yep.
He wanted to own a bodybuilding federation because he's really into bodybuilding, and he wanted to own a football team. And that club is so exclusive that he tried 2 times to start a football league.
He was like, fuck y'all.
Because they wouldn't let his carny ass into the 32 member club. And it's
Not like this man in. Look.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, he fit
Like,
but Vince
I
McMahon
don't
is
know,
a broke boy. Like, he's only worth $2 billion. He ain't got no real money.
Right.
What he gonna do?
Get out of here with your $2 billion.
wow. I want to say that to somebody. Broke ass.
Yeah. Can you imagine telling somebody like, nigga, what, $2 billion? Get a 6 in front.
How much is Shad Khan worth?
I bet he's worth.
But you know what, Jay? You know who? Jay, do you like Home Depot?
I know that guy's a piece of shit. Shad Khan's worth $8.4 billion.
Right.
Again. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here,
I mean,
Vince.
but also he's
4
the owner
times
of the
more.
He's owner of the Jaguars, and they don't matter.
I mean, he's the owner of the Jaguars, but I think he owns a couple different sports teams.
Yeah,
I
he's
think he owns
got a lot
soccer
of
team.
money. Yeah.
You own a soccer team. That's it. I mean, you don't have to work ever.
Nah,
Yeah, that's
not
true.
really. I mean, the dude who owns the Carolina Panthers has got like $14.5 billion. God damn, $14.5 billion? Go fuck yourself.
And like you said, he owns the Jaguars. He had to get $8.4 billion to own the fucking Jags.
Right, not even a good team.
Like, who cares?
That's hilarious. But again, look, I would just say maybe you need people that have either maybe liberally minded at least, or black, less douchebag conservative like folks to own teams. You just do. I don't know. Hey, John Kerry got that catch-up money. Get in there. They worth like a shit ton of money. Like, go in there. Do something. You want to fix this shit, you have to fix it from the inside.
I mean, and it's not like players in NFL aren't trying. Like, I mean, you have black players who speak up about racial inequity in the NFL and the NFL's problems. So, I mean, people are making an effort, but that system is so hard to penetrate.
I'm sure. Look, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, and kind of like what y'all said after the last year when these I think most stadiums. I definitely know M&T Bank said that they were going to be at full capacity this season. So you're going to see a sea.
Good luck.
You're going to see a sea of purple downtown.
I'll be watching it from the news with the fucking super spreader event. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of dummies out there. I don't need no vaccine. It'll magnetize my skull. I don't need it.
I love that Lamar Jackson. As long as he'll talk about that race stuff.
That's right.
I
As long
love
as he's
him.
winning.
That's right.
Winning.
As long as he win it and he doesn't like. And
as long as he's picking more cotton than the other niggas in the field, he's my favorite. It doesn't get
political because them niggas on 105.7 The Fan love when their favorite black players do not quote unquote get political.
Mm-hmm.
When they stick to sports or whatever.
Yeah,
no. If they came out with like Blue Lives Matter, they'd be like, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, this guy gets it.
Just a quick thing, because this is really bothers me a lot when a lot of these assholes on 105.7 The Fan call into the shows and they complain about the shit that happens in Baltimore City, but these niggas live in like Dundalk, Perry Hall, Owens, somewhere near Owens Mills, whatever, just not in Baltimore City. They only come down to Baltimore City for Ravens and Orioles games.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about the city. They want something from it, just like they want something from black players. They don't, and that is fundamentally my issue.
Right.
These people don't actually give a shit
They
about
don't.
the players, right? Like, look, there's sort of like a fundamental issue with like owning a sports team and the players who play under you, whatever sport it is, fucking racing or baseball, soccer, whatever, football, it doesn't matter. There is going to be a disconnect, right? Because that is an employee. But there is also the level of whether you care about the health of these people. Like, you can still care about the health of these people. And I think by them saying, look, you're not that smart to begin with, but you knock people down real good. And so we'll use you until you have CTE and you can barely, pull your wallet out of your pocket.
They're not going to pay you.
And then we're not going to pay you. Like, my thing is, look, if you think that these people are dumb, one, don't put it on the books. That's fucking insane. But if you think these people are dumber, but they make a good athlete, and then you're fine with them smashing their heads until they can't function, okay, but pay them. Pay them, right? You're paying them to put their lives on the line every week to make you billions and billions and billions of dollars. Cool. So when they develop these issues, pay them. Just pay him.
I can't believe that this shit is. I mean, I can't believe it, but I can feel shocked that it's 2021, and they are now just saying, "Oh, we will end race norming because of a $1 billion concussion settlement." Like,
I mean, here's the thing: they're only sorry because they got caught.
That's right.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
Yeah,
they wouldn't have changed that shit. No, if nobody figured it out, they wouldn't have said shit. You're like, oh, yeah, you good. Yeah. Yeah, the dude from The Blind Side, whatever. He wasn't that smart. Who cares? Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. I mean, that's how they act, right? Like, he can't say his name and shit in that movie. So, it's ridiculous. But, yeah, I don't get it. I'm like, you don't have to write to me and be like, you don't understand sports. You don't get.
No.
Like,
yeah,
that falls on deaf ears to me. It has nothing to do with exploiting black people for cash. So please don't write, because I won't be nice to you. Please don't write to me and say shit like
you
that.
you already know somebody's gonna bring it up in the comments.
Good. Again, don't defend trashing black people's bodies for cash. Like, that's some white racist shit. It is, and I'll tell you, I don't give a fuck. Who cares? Like, it's just ridiculous. So, look, I don't get it. It's okay. If you would still watch NFL, still watch it. That's fine. But just realize that, like, your money and your time goes towards this. Like, you have to accept that. Like, you can't have it both ways and be like, no, not my time. No, your time. You're giving them something more precious than money, which is your time.
So I guess I'll see folks in Las Vegas when the Ravens go play the Vegas Raiders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. See. You're that meme. You're the embodiment of that meme where it's like, hey guys, chick. No. It's like, hey guys, Chick-fil-A really hates gay people with those like conversion therapy, and the kid's like eating a sandwich under. That's like, yeah, that's terrible. Like,
look,
this pickled braised chicken is fucking delicious.
I care. Go Ravens. And maybe I may just happen to be in Vegas at the same time. I don't know. I got to check my schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. And just watch those black men kill themselves for your entertainment.
They making money.
They making see. Let's see. They rich. I ain't rich. They won't be able to spell their fucking names in 5 years, but that's all right. They rich.
Look, I would put on that sweatshirt and sit on the practice squad and make $12,000 a week. That's like my dream. That's a dream job. but as far as like doing,
like, Jay, are you reading football strategy? Yeah, and I have like a gardening book underneath it.
Some cares. Some Denver 82. Yeah.
yeah. Nah, you got it. Y'all got it. Y'all doing real good.
Omaha.
Yeah, Omaha.
I don't know what any of that means. I would yell, move those chains every couple of minutes. That seems to be a thing that happens.
First down.
I've only been to one professional football game. And it was preseason. It was really lame. It wasn't very good. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, the games are I would say this for folks who've never been to an NFL game. It is definitely an experience where people get way too comfortable talking about these players.
No, I don't need that. I don't need that.
I've been to a couple. I've been to like 4, but 3 of them. I used to date someone who worked for M&T, and every once in a while they would give her some passes. Yeah, and to go in the skybox.
Oh, see,
they were preseason games. They were preseason games. They ain't giving out that games to some random employee.
Right, like, look, going to the skybox, rich. Going to the skybox during a preseason game, nigga rich. Like it's fine.
That's exactly what it was. And look, it's the only way to go to an NFL game. You get out of here. I've sat in the crowd with the great unwashed masses. Nah, yo, I don't like it.
God.
I've been to a skybox at a baseball game. It is like, I mean, it's kind of nice. It's like going to a professional sporting event at your house.
Yeah, it's nice. That was giving us wings and shit.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
All right.
I like this.
I've done those too. I gotta say, I like being down in the crowd. I like it.
You're
what?
Part of you're part of the unwashed. That's what. You're part of the unwashed. I ain't scared of you. 3,000 miles away. You ain't gonna do nothing to me.
That was fucking.
You don't know
hilarious.
that, Micah. You don't know that. Them cicadas, they better wrap up, and guess who's coming home?
They ain't wrapping up no time soon. You coming over here if you want to. It's loud as fuck outside. That's really funny. What? Like, you know.
Micah's only saying this because I'm wearing a bonnet and he's judging me right now. So therefore, he's judging a black woman. Take that how you want.
What are we doing, my sisters? What are we doing in the airport? Bonnets, blankets around ourselves. What are we doing? Shut up. That lady's so
airport, yo.
All right, that's it for us. We will see you guys next week for the 40-year-old version. Again, that is on Netflix. Please go check it out, and we'll see you guys next time.
It's not the Steve Carell movie.
Yeah, version.
Wouldn't they know that this is a show about black podcast?
No, they wouldn't.
No, there's not normal people listening in or watching. Crazy people.
You know, I was about to say.
How was 40-year-old virgin a black movie? All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my comment to myself.
One day I'm gonna just compile all the madness and read them as a preview episode. All right, that's it for us. We will see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.